lovelies, Lunaria here, and today's video is part of a Royals lesson that is on the blog fully, or it will be soon depending on when you see this video. This video will be unlisted until the post is released, and then I will make it public. So this video is part of a Royals lesson that is on the blog about loving yourself and how to love yourself despite the voices in your head telling you otherwise. So, this part is basically me talking about my struggles with self-image and how I overcame them. So, as many of you probably know from just the way I am and my humor and stuff, I tend to be kind of self-deprecating. And I really tend to be hard on myself, and I'm really mean to myself, and I really don't understand why, because I tend to try not to be mean to others. For some reason, I'm mean to myself. Now, my big thing about this is why do we allow this behavior? Why do we let ourselves be so cruel to ourselves and then nice to other people? Why aren't we nice to ourselves the way we are to other people? Now, a lot of people that have self-image issues or self-doubt or, depression, stuff like that, a lot of the time it's not something that you can really help. It's something that it just happens because the way your brain is made up, and you just kind of are the way you are. And so sometimes, stuff will be going great and you'll think to yourself, wow, I'm a bad person, and then you'll just go on this spiral about how, you think you're a bad person, or something will happen and you'll say, you'll be on this high and you'll say, oh, I look good today, and then you look at yourself a little too closely in the mirror and suddenly your brain says, wow, I don't like my nose. And it's like, you wouldn't go and tell someone you don't like their nose, and if you would, you're kind of a mean person. But you wouldn't just walk up to somebody and say, I hate your nose. So why do you tell yourself so bluntly these horrible, mean things, and you say, I don't like my own nose? That's not nice. So the way I've really found of just coping with this problem with self-doubt, and the way I've found that I can help myself take care of this problem, is by pretending that voice inside my head that gives me those doubts, that tells me these mean things, pretending that voice is someone either really annoying or a little monster. Now, it's really funny to picture this little voice as its own little thing, because it makes it so much easier to deal with when you are hearing these thoughts. Especially if you're hearing thoughts that they're very probably often not true, but your brain is telling you that they're true and you don't know whether or not to believe them. So it's always easier if you hear them from a little monster inside your head that's just trying to make you mad, and so you just kind of, push the monster away. I picture this little fluff ball, a little green fluff ball with an angry face. It's still cute, it's got little blushy cheeks, but it's really angry. And I picture a little angry fluff ball in my head, and every time I hear something you're not really pretty, or you're obnoxious or annoying and people don't like you, I always pretend like it's coming from a little monster in my head that's saying, in its little angry little monster voice, you're not pretty, nobody likes you. And then I'm like, that's funny, because you're the one living inside my head with no friends. Honestly, it becomes really fun to do a little roast session on your little monster and be like, hey, you're the one who sucks because you're telling me mean stuff about myself, when in actuality I should love myself and I should be nice to myself. So that's one coping mechanism that I find that works really well for me, is just to pretend like there's a little angry monster in my head doing a really tiny little voice who's really, tiny and cute and goes, you're a bad person. And I'm like, that's funny, because last time I checked, you're the one who's alone in life. So just roast a little monster in your head every so often, and it'll make you feel better. The other thing that I like to do is to do self-affirmations. I don't really do these as often because I feel as though these are very powerful and that I don't need them as often, but of course I should probably be using them a lot more than I do. Self-affirmations are, in my opinion, and you can do this in any way you want. You can journal your self-affirmations. You can put them on sticky notes around your bedroom. You can say them into the mirror to yourself every morning when you wake up. Self-affirmations are just you saying really nice stuff to yourself, because you don't do that very often. If you have these self-problems, if you have insecurity and doubt, you tend to not tell yourself nice stuff very often. I remember the other day, I thought to myself, and I was like, I'm an okay blogger. And I was shocked. I was shook, if that's the word you want to use. I was completely shocked. I could not believe that I had said something so nice about myself, it wasn't even that nice. It was just, I'm an okay blogger. But my brain just was like, was that positivity for yourself? oh my God, like, it was ridiculous. So you got to do this more often than I do, because I am not a good example for this. You got to do this very, very often. Set a precedent for yourself. You know, you wake up in the morning, you're brushing your teeth, you look in the mirror, you think to yourself, I'm a strong, confident individual with a pretty face or a handsome face, and, you know, whatever you feel like. And you say, I am attractive, I am confident, I've got skills, I am a good person, and you tell yourself this while you're brushing your teeth. Or you tell yourself this when you're taking a bath or a shower. Or you tell yourself this when you're about to go to bed. Or you put this up on sticky notes all over your room that says, I'm a good person, I'm pretty, I'm confident, I'm smart, you know, all this all over your room. Or you put it in, like, you know, maybe you put a note in your car that says, I am a handsome person. Or, you know, you make a video for yourself. You make a video like this and you vlog to yourself and say, you know, remember to love yourself, remember that you are a good person, you know, tell yourself all these things. You could even write a blog or do a journal where you just try to self-affirm yourself, and I don't think that's a word. You try to affirm, you try to be nice to yourself in your journal, and you say these really nice things to yourself. Just really, like, drill it into yourself that you're not a bad person, that you're actually a good person, that you're actually, you know, you're attractive, you're confident, you're great. Because sometimes, and I know a lot of times with people who have self-image issues, I keep doing this whenever I say that, and I'm sorry, that's a little weird. I know a lot of times with people with the self-image issues, like myself, will say, you know, this really mean things to yourself, never really anything nice to yourself, and then when you do say something nice to yourself, you feel like it's very awkward and it's not very genuine. And that is why you do the self-affirmations more than once. You drill them into your head because really you want them to be there. You want to make it so they don't have to think about it. So that you wake up in the morning, you're brushing your teeth and you're going, I'm a good person. And then you're like, where did that good thought come from? It came from your affirmations. Affirmations are very, very important. So those are my two biggest coping mechanisms with how to deal with self-doubt and all that. I'm going to have a written version. If you're watching this from the blog page, above me, there will be a written version. If you're watching this from YouTube, below me, there's a link to the blog post if you'd like to read a written version of what I just said, essentially. There's also links in the blog post, wherever you're reading this from, probably below me in the blog post and in the YouTube video. There will be links on other posts that we've written on how to give yourself self-love and self-care and all that. Because one of our other posts mentions it's not always about the stuff like treating yourself, buying yourself stuff, all that. Sometimes it's about things like making yourself do homework, making yourself take a shower, because sometimes those things can be hard. So, I love you all. Remember to love yourselves. That's the big point of this whole thing, is that you gotta love yourself because you are a good person. So remember to love yourself, stay lovely and awesome. I don't know if that was thunder or if that was construction, but I think that was thunder. Sorry. Remember to love yourself, stay awesome, and I will see you in my next video.